So it will be more like a pharmaceutical and like valuable, say more like a jewelry or diamond, that type of transportation. The first batch of iPhone, whenever there is a new release, that type of sensitivity. Now, there are some variations, not just tracking if the cargo has been pried open or if there is an attempt to break the seal, but also looking at it, measuring different things. So like a temperature gauge, which could be beneficial in the pharmaceutical industry, temperature, moisture, and also levelness of the cargo. If tilting creates a harm to the contents. So these are much more sophisticated measurements that you can put inside a cargo and link to the tracker box.
Interesting. When you think of the potential options in the market for security seals and tags, who are the people that you're thinking about?
The provider?
Yeah, the manufacturers, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So obviously, Titan Brooks is a market leader in the space. You also have Cambridge, which is a large company. They do have a pretty good market share. And from what I have gathered, they have been able to inch up on market share in the last, let me see, maybe 2-3 years.
And why is that? Product? Is that price? What's behind some of those market share gains?
Mm-hmm. So Titan has gone through some challenges in the supply chain back in 2013. And so some of the challenges are surrounding the surface aspect of it, adherence to the original promise day shipment, and some of the, I would say, customer service piece, making sure that the correct information is translated into the work order, and also some of the internal supply chain optimization may have created some challenges. And so some of the customers were quite discouraged, and then they started looking for alternatives. And Cambridge was started by some people who used to have a close tie with Titan. And so I think there is some familiarity of the industry, and so they were able to make some headway. There is also a value brand, Mega Fortress, is a company, I believe, out of Malaysia. And so these are the more inexpensive value creation. And they have been able to make some pretty good roadways selling to distributors like the Uline or J.J. Keller, Granger, these type of distributorship. And so their products are what we call the fighter brand, very simple, and a lot of times it's just a generic serial number, and the buyers don't really care what they get. So let's say you go in and buy a batch, it will be sequential number, and then say 2 months later you go in and buy another batch, they are still sequential, but it may not link exactly to the last one that you bought. Chances are it won't, but there are people who don't care. And there are also people who don't care if there is a serial number. All they want is to put something there, make it a little bit inconvenient for a thief to open it.
Right. Interesting. As you think about usage, do you feel like, Crystal Creamery, will use more seals, the same amount of seals, fewer seals? How do you see the dynamics in the marketplace?
Mm-hmm. So the way that I think of it, in food and beverage manufacturing